What's good, YouTube? Sensational CLANCY'S here, and I'm back with another Tom Clancy's The Division vendor reset video. We're here for March 12th, 2021's vendor reset. So let's get right into this and see what we got good for this week. For our first gear items, head over to Camp Hudson. Here the gear vendor has a Spec Ops armor with the talent Vigorous on there. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 4.50% smart cover duration. For our next gear items, head over to the meat locker. Here the weapons vendor has a high velocity magazine with 7.50% crit hit chance, 11.50% magazine size, and 4% crit hit damage. For our next gear items, head over to the base of operations. Here the gear vendor has a prototype electronics mod with 265 electronics and 3% signature ability resource gain. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the advanced weaponry vendor, and here we got a Navy MP5N. Also here we got a black market M60E6. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the special equipment vendor, and here we got a Cassidy. Also here we got a Liberator. Next here we got a Pecan. Next here we got a tactical UMP45. We also got a Marine Super 90. We also here got a military RPK-74M. Next here we got an operator mask with the talent Enduring on there. Next here we got some tactical gloves with the talent Savage on there. We also here got a prototype electronics mod with 260 electronics and 2% all resistance. Next here we got a prototype performance mod with 7% Seeker Mine explosion radius. We also here got a quick release magazine with 30% reload speed, 3% crit hit chance, and 4% crit hit damage. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a first wave PF45 blueprint with a gear score of 256. Next here we got electronics vest blueprint with a gear score of 256. We also here got an EXP S3 holographic sight tan blueprint with a power level 34. We also here got a vertical grit foliage green blueprint with a power level 34. For our next gear items, head over to the cavern. Here the gear vendor has an operator mask with the talent Rehabilitated on there. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 3.50% ballistic shield damage. For our next gear items, head over to Kermit Station. Here the weapons vendor has an AUG A3 Para XS. For our next gear items, head over to Camp Clinton. Here the special equipment vendor has a Pecan if you like to run this weapon. We also here got a Cassidy. Next here we got a Model 700. We also here got a military L86 LSW. Next here we got a gunslinger vest with the talent Vigorous on there. Next here we got a prototype firearms mod with 262 firearms and 2% all resistance. We also here got a prototype performance mod with 2% pulse crit hit chance. We also here got an extended magazine with 110% magazine size, 4% critical hit damage, and 5% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Clinton. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a surplus SVD blueprint with a gear score of 256. Next here we got a military M9 blueprint with a gear score of 256. For our next gear items, head over to Wolves Den. Here the weapons vendor has a tactical M249 Para. And also here we got an extended magazine with 113.50% magazine size, 4% reload speed, and 4% critical hit damage. For our next gear items, head over to Madison Stand. Here the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod with 4% sticky bomb damage. For our next gear items, head over to the Ward. Here the gear vendor has an operator mask with the talent Enduring on there. Also here we got a prototype electronics mod with 191 electronics and 3% damage to elites. For our next gear items, head over to the Grindhouse. Here the weapons vendor has a double barrel shotgun. And then also here we got a small grip red with 19% critical hit damage, 4.50% optimal range, and 5% reload speed. For our next gear items, head over to the Firewall. Here the gear vendor has a tactical vest with the talent Rapid on there. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 5.50% first aid self-heal. For our next gear items, head over to West 34th Street checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone vendor has a SOCOM MK20 SSR. Next here we got a Spec Ops mask with the talent Rehabilitated on there. We also here got a prototype performance mod with 7% support station range. For our next gear items, head over to West 39th Street checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone vendor has a tactical ACR. For our next gear items, head over to West 42nd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 4.50% support station healing speed. For our next gear items, head over to West 53rd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype firearms mod with 255 firearms and 3,173 health. And also here we got a vertical grip with 49% optimal range, 5% reload speed, and 2.50% stability. For our next gear items, head over to East 64th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone gear mod vendor has a prototype performance mod with 4.50% ballistic shield damage resilience. For our next gear items, head over to East 58th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent Tenacious on there. Next here we got a Spec Ops pack with the talent Inventive. And then also here we got some Spec Op gloves with the talent Savage on there. For our next gear items, head over to the Park Ave checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone weapons vendor has a G36 enhanced. We also here got an M700 tactical. For our next gear items, head over to East 53rd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a tactical pack with the talent Relentless on there. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 6.50% mobile cover health. For the next gear items, head over to East 46th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a Spec Ops pack with the talent Inventive on there. For our next gear items, head over to East 42nd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 5.50% sticky bomb explosion radius. And also here we got a high velocity magazine with 7.50% critical hit chance, 12% magazine size, and 5.50% rate of fire. For our next gear items, head over to East 40th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 4% mobile cover damage resilience. And then also here we got a VX1 scope times 12 with 18% headshot damage, 2.50% stability, and 2% accuracy. For our next gear items, head over to East 34th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has an operator mask with the talent Rehabilitated on there. For our next gear items, head over to East 31st Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype stamina mod with 258 stamina and 3% skill haste. And then also here we got an extended magazine with 111% magazine size, 2.50% critical hit chance, and 5.60% rate of fire. For our next gear items, head over to the 5th Ave checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a heavy magazine spring with 4% critical hit damage, 12% magazine size, and 10.60% rate of fire. For our next gear items, head over to DZ2 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent Enduring on there. Also here we got an operator vest with the talent Rapid. Next here we got an operator pack with the talent Specialized on there. And then also here we got some operator gloves with the talent Savaged on there. For the next gear items, head over to DZ3 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone weapons vendor has a PP19. And then also here we got an SASG12. For our next gear items, head over to DZ4 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone gear mod vendor has a prototype stamina mod with 252 stamina and 3,293 health. For our next gear items, head over to DZ5 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a heavy magazine spring with 3% critical hit chance, 4% critical hit damage, and 10.30% rate of fire. And then also here we got a loud vent brake with 18% critical hit damage, 2.50% stability, and 4.50% optimal range. For our next gear items, head over to DZ9 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a compressor with 13% stability, 4% critical hit damage, and 4.50% optimal range. And also here we got a small grit red with 18% critical hit damage, 2.50% stability, and 4% optimal range. Alright everybody, that's it for our Tom Clancy's The Division vendor reset video for March 12th, 2021's vendor reset. I hope everybody who tuned into it found them something that they needed. Smash on that sub and like button, y'all. Appreciate that support. And I will see y'all with the next one, everybody. Take care. Peace.